Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to install Ubuntu on your Windows machine. So basically there are two ways to do this. Either you use a program called Bootcamp, and this program will help you to install Ubuntu on another partition of your hard drive, but you will need to reboot your Windows machine every time you want to use Ubuntu. And you won't be able to share files between your Windows machine and your Ubuntu machine. Or you can use a program called VirtualBox, and that's what I'm going to show you guys today. And what I really like with VirtualBox is the fact that you don't need to reboot your computer when you want to use your Ubuntu machine. You will be able to share files between your Windows machine and your Ubuntu machine. So the first thing you need to do is to download Ubuntu, which is free. So we're going to go on the internet and we're going to go to google.com and we're going to type Ubuntu download, and then I'm going to click on the first link right here. I'll put the link in the video description so that you guys don't need to go like this. And then we're just gonna go to the download Ubuntu desktop, Ubuntu 18.04.1 LTS. I'm just gonna click download, and basically the download will start shortly. If it doesn't start automatically, you can just click that link as well. And here I'm just gonna click save as. And so I already basically have downloaded Ubuntu before, so I'm not gonna download again, but for you guys you need to download it. It's a pretty big file, so it's probably gonna take depending on your internet connection, like maybe like few hours, maybe less than an hour, depending on how fast your internet connection is. Okay, so I'm not going to download it since I have it already. And then the second step is to download VirtualBox. So I'm going to go back to Google and I'm going to type VirtualBox download. And I'm going to click on the first link here. I'm going to put the link in the description as well of the video. So download here, and here you're going to click on that first option that says Windows hosts. And then here, same thing, you're going to click save as. And I already downloaded VirtualBox before, so I won't download it again, but you guys need to download it. Alright, I'm going to click cancel here, and I'm going to come back to my desktop. So here I have my Ubuntu file that I downloaded and my VirtualBox file that I downloaded as well. So I'm going to start by installing VirtualBox on my Windows machine. I'm going to double click VirtualBox. And here you're just going to click run. And basically, you're just going to have to click next, next, next. It's pretty straightforward. Just going to click next, 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 and click yes, and install. And so basically what it's going to be doing, it's going to install VirtualBox on my Windows machine. I'm going to click install here. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to start VirtualBox because I checked that when I click finish. Okay, so now VirtualBox is started. So if it doesn't start for you guys, you can just, I created the shortcut on my desktop, but you can just double click on that shortcut icon here and it will open that window for you. So basically what VirtualBox is a program where you can create what we call a virtual machine. So a virtual machine is basically a computer where you can install an operating system like Ubuntu, like Windows, like macOS, and you'll be able to run that virtual computer, if you will, from VirtualBox. So what we need to do first is we want to run Ubuntu, so we need to create first a virtual machine where we're going to be able to install Ubuntu on it. But the first step is to create the virtual machine. So to do this, I'm going to click on New, and here I'm going to type, I'm going to give it a name, the virtual machine that I want to create. So I'm going to call it Ubuntu. So by default, VirtualBox will pick, it will recognize, since I typed Ubuntu as a name, it'll recognize that it's a Linux operating system. So if it does not, if you call it something else, just pick Linux. And then here, I downloaded the Ubuntu ISO file that I have right here. And it's actually the 64-bit version that I downloaded, so I'm gonna select it, the 64-bit version, and I'm gonna click Next. And here it's gonna ask you how much memory RAM you wanna put for your virtual machine, which is the Ubuntu machine that I'm creating. On my Windows machine right now, as you can see, I have 8 gigs of RAM. So I'm gonna put like so don't go over that red limit here. So I'm gonna put like 4 gigs of RAM. So if you go over that red limit, then your Windows machine will have a hard time running actually. So don't do that. I'm just gonna click Next, and here I'm gonna select the option Create a virtual hard disk now. And then I'm going to select that first option, VDI, which is the VirtualBox disk image. And here I'm going to select dynamically allocated, which if you just want to know the difference between fixed size and dynamically allocated. So I'm going to create on the next step I'm creating the hard drive right now, but I'm going to specify the size of the hard drive on the next step. And when you select dynamically allocated, let's say if you have like a 25 gigs hard drive, if you select dynamically allocated, it will only take the space that Ubuntu will need right now, so meaning less than the 25 gigs on your Windows machine, as opposed that if you click fixed size, it will create right away 25 gigs file on your Windows machine. So I prefer to dynamically allocate it, because if for some reason I do not use the 25 gigs that I'm going to allocate to Ubuntu, then it will only take like whatever I use. So if it's like 10 that I use, it's only going to take 10 as opposed to the 25. So I'm just going to click Next. And here, as you see, so I'm going to put 25 gig. Okay, 25 gig. And yeah, don't put, Ubuntu is recommending at least 25 gigs as a minimum requirement to make it run smoothly. So that's what I'm putting right here. So don't put, and on my hard disk right now, I only have like a few gigs left. So don't go over, of course, the space that you have left on your Windows machine. And I'm going to click Create. So now what we just did is we created a virtual machine called Ubuntu. And this virtual machine is basically a computer that we just created. And we're going to install the Ubuntu operating system on it in a few seconds. But before we do that, I'm just going to select my Ubuntu virtual machine, and I'm going to click on settings right here, just so that you guys can see. So those are the settings of the virtual machine. So you have a few options here that I just want to point out to you guys. I'm not going to go too much into details in this video, but I just want to give you the basics so that you can understand what we can do and what we cannot do, I guess. So I'm just going to go in the General tab here. As you can see here, you have your Ubuntu machine that we just created with a name, type, and version. I'm just going to go in Advanced, and the first thing I'm going to show you is like we're going to go to those two options, Shared Clipboard, and we're going to click on Bidirectional here. So what's going to happen here when we do this is like you'll be able to copy and paste from your Windows machine to your Ubuntu machine and vice versa. That could be very useful actually when you want to copy like text or copy files. And we're going to also do the same for the drag and drop function between Windows and Ubuntu. So I'm going to click bidirectional right here. And after we're going to go to system. Here we see that we allocated the 4 gigs of RAM. And here what you can do is like you can attach basically devices to your virtual machine. So we don't need the floppy drive, so I'm gonna remove that. You see we have a CD drive, we have a hard drive. You can of course attach more hard drive if you need. We're gonna go to processor, and here I have 1 CPU. I'm gonna put 2 just so that it runs a little faster. You guys can do some tests. If it runs too slow, you can adjust that. And here this is fine. Displays is basically some options about the display. Like if you want to do like AV task, like video task, like that are AV, you can check those 2 options here, like the 3D acceleration and the 2D video acceleration. But we're not going to do that for the video. And then we're going to go next to storage, and that's where we're going to need to take action. So as you can see here, I have my hard drive that I created, the .vdi file of 25 gigs. And what I'm going to be doing here, I need to insert that in the CD-ROM drive, that Ubuntu image that we downloaded. So I'm going to click here on the CD drive, and I'm going to click on the little like CD icon, and I'm going to click choose virtual optical disk file, and I'm going to go to desktop, and I'm going to select my Ubuntu ISO file that I downloaded. And I'm going to double click on that. And here basically what it does is I'm just putting the Ubuntu software that we downloaded into the CD-ROM of my virtual machine. And when I'm going to launch my virtual machine, it's going to boot on that CD-ROM and it's going to install Ubuntu. And before I click OK, I want to show you guys a last options, because I think a lot of people want to know about this option. Sometimes I get questions about that. So you have an option here to share folders. So basically what it does is like I can create like a path between my Windows machine and my Ubuntu machine that I'm going to share. So for example, if I want to share like a specific folder on my Windows to my Ubuntu machine and vice versa, I can click here and I can select here like my for example, my documents. I can select this folder here, and I can like and I click automate, and I click OK, and basically what it does is going to share my document folder from my Windows machine to my Ubuntu machine. I'm not going to do it right now, but like in case you need to do that, we can do that as well. All right, I'm just going to click OK, and here I'm going to start my Ubuntu virtual machine. And what's going to happen here is like it's going to start launching my virtual machine, and it will install. It's going to start the install of the Ubuntu operating system. So it's going to take a few minutes, but I'll show you guys what's happening in a few seconds. So right now it's starting. It's basically booting, as you can see on the CD/DVD of Ubuntu, and it's going to take a few minutes actually, but you will see in a few minutes that it's going to start the installation process. After, I mean, as you can see here, I don't know if you see on the screen, but yeah, it's starting to show up. And basically, we're going to start the installation process. So here you can select your language on the left side. I'm going to leave it to English, and I'm going to click on Install Ubuntu on the right. You have also an option to try it, but it's actually not running the install, but it's just to like try it out. But as like they call it as a live live CD. We're just gonna ignore that option and just install Ubuntu for good. So I'm clicking that option right now. Here you have the options to select which kind of keyboard you want. I'm gonna pick English US and English US regular keyboard. I'm gonna click on continue here. And here I'm gonna select that first option, which is the normal installation. And I'm gonna check as well the download updates while installing Ubuntu, and I'm gonna click continue. And here I'm going to select that first option. Don't worry, it's actually saying erase disk and install Ubuntu. It's actually a little bit scary the way they put it on, but it's basically we created like a 25 gigs hard drive, which is completely empty right now. And the only thing that it's going to be doing, it's basically gonna erase whatever we have on that 25 gigs hard drive, but we have nothing actually. It's just a virtual drive that we created, so it's not gonna erase anything on your Windows machine or anything. It's just gonna install Ubuntu on that 25 gigs hard drive. So whatever, if you had information on that 25 gigs hard drive, which you don't, it will basically like wipe it out, but like we don't have anything, so don't worry about it. It's not gonna erase anything on your Windows machine. Just click install now. And here just click continue. And basically here it's going to ask you which region you want to set up Ubuntu for. I'm just going to leave it to New York. And here it's asking for a computer name for Ubuntu. I'm just going to type my name. Just going to type a password as well. All right, and you have the option to either log in automatically or require my password every time you log in. I guess we're going to leave that as an option, as require my password to log in, and I'm going to click continue. And basically from here it's going to take a few minutes, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to basically copying the files, installing Ubuntu, and do a few updates as well. So it's going to take a few minutes from here. Alright, so the installation is complete. You don't need to restart your computer in order to use the new installation. That's what it says here. So we're just going to click on restart now. And basically it will restart the Ubuntu virtual machine. So here it says, actually it says please remove the installation medium, so meaning that he wants us to remove the CD-ROM that we put in the CD slot of VirtualBox. But I believe by default now it's doing that automatically. We're just going to check in the settings, and if you go back to storage, you can see here, yeah, it's empty. You see by default it's empty. Alright, so I think we're good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back here. Just gonna click on enter. And here you will basically start Ubuntu in a few seconds. So I'm going to show you guys this in a little bit once the virtual machine is starting. Alright, so now it's booting. As you can see, it's working right now. It's launching Ubuntu. And it will take just a few seconds. As you can see here, now it's launched. And it created my user, which is Hubert, that I just created. Just gonna click on my user. I'm just gonna input my password. Gonna click enter, and basically my virtual machine with Ubuntu installed on it will start. Here you go. So I'm just gonna close the what's new in Ubuntu, clicking next, down. I'm just gonna put it a little bit more full screen, so as you guys can see. And here I'm in my Ubuntu machine right now, and pretty much I can do anything that I would be doing on a regular Ubuntu machine. except here that it's what we call a virtualized Ubuntu, if I could say. I can even put it in full screen completely by clicking on View and full screen mode here, and I can click on Switch, and here basically what it's doing is like completely full screen, and I can do anything that I'll be doing on a regular Ubuntu. I can click on either activity here to search for a program. I can type terminal, I can open the terminal, and then I can run some command like I would be doing on a regular Ubuntu machine. You can also click on the little icon at the bottom here to look for any app, like you could have looked for the terminal here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We are running Ubuntu right now. Everything is working fine. You can close then Ubuntu once you're done. You can click on that button here to have the options to turn off Ubuntu. You can also go back at the bottom here. Oops. If you want to exit the full screen mode, you can click on those options here, and you can click here to exit the full screen mode. And when you want to turn off your Ubuntu machine, you can click here and click on the little button right here. And you can actually restart, power off, or cancel. I'm just going to power off the virtual machine. And now we are back to our Windows machine. Alright, that's it for today, guys. I hope you really enjoy this video. So what I forgot to mention is, like, if you wanna, now I turned off my virtual machine, but if you wanna turn it back on, of course you select it and you just click on start and it will start again. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well if you want to know more about technology in general. Thank you so much and have a great day.